So I got done with Rings of Power, and it was more good than bad, but as others have noted, the slow pacing is a bit of a burden. Not for me, I'm okay with it, but it does feel like a lot of these episodes were kind of a necessary evil to finally set up things that are going to get paid off for the rest of the season. But I'm okay with that, especially because they finally concentrated on Numenor and did, yes, confirm Numenor will fall. There are visions of its decline. So I do like the story is trying to work with the book canon. And yes, there are a lot of nods to the Jackson films too. So it's a little shaky and all over the place, but it's more shaky good than shaky bad. There are definitely some cringe moments with the dialogue, as well as some things with, I guess, the power set. It still seems a little flimsy. I did like how Orondir seemed limited in the first few episodes, but he seemed to take down an orc with one single arrow, which I thought was a little too close to Orlando Bland and his abilities to just kill everything because he's Orlando Bland, I guess. And yeah, Theo is a little bit of a pointless distraction, him constantly getting into trouble with the orcs and the whole sword mystery, which I don't think is going to add very much, but I guess they need to do something with this younger actor and they want to appeal to a younger audience. I'm hoping they're going to do something special and stunning, like he is Sauron and they're just hiding him, but we'll have to wait and see. And some people are complaining that Galadriel felt a little overpowered here, how she was able to take out these Numenorians so easily, but I don't know. The complaint before was she's being a warrior and she's so powerful she could just use magic to do everything, and now she's powerful. People still complain. I don't know. But I do think it's good that they took some attention off her and made it much, much more balanced. Some people miss the hobbits. I did not. I thought it was fine that the Harfoots are not really featured in this episode. So them focusing on who they needed to focus on was a much better decision in my eyes. I did find it a little strange in terms of Elrond and Durin having such different histories and memories about what happened. I guess this is just going to be a quirk in their relationship that they remember things differently. So overall, more good stuff than bad stuff. Yes, very slow, but I thought this was way better than the last episode where the slowness didn't do much beyond a certain point. Here it did feel much more intentional, and things are really moving. We don't just have Numenor that's moving, we also have the kind of outlines of the construction of the rings. So a lot is happening fairly quickly, and I thought it was well set up enough in the first two episodes, but the third episode didn't, I think, take advantage of that. It's fine. I did find it a little disappointing we didn't get more on Meteor Man. I know there are a lot of clues, maybe there were a few clues I missed here, but I'd like a little bit more on his progression and where we're going to go with that character. I would recommend this pretty highly. It's very beautiful, very stunning shots, and the music, yes, as always, is a little overboard in places, but it is consistently pretty good. Probably the real standout here is Farazan in the way he's sort of going a little bit in between being a totally political figure but wanting to do something right with his family. I thought he was the most fascinating, so I'm going to be very interested how the quote, slow seduction of him works with Sauron, and that leads to the destruction of Numenor. The Palantir was also a nice kind of Easter egg. A lot of people were complaining this can't happen. No, as far as I know, it's canonical. Even the way they're using it to give kind of these force visions to Galadriel, that's fine. That doesn't disturb the canon. I mean, it will become a problem if they lean on that too much, but at this point, I did think the use of magic has been so far constrained. Again, Tolkien just didn't like French fairy tales, and he definitely would not like the current superhero films. He just didn't find that a very interesting way to do his stories. So far they've constrained themselves, which is good, but I did find it a little funny the orcs were just not going to follow certain characters because the sun was too bright. I felt that was a little too silly. I mean, they're not vampires. Yes, they're vulnerable to sunlight. I guess you want to say that they don't like the sun, and the sun was very intense, but I don't know. That felt a little bit too easy. I do find it interesting, however, how Adar tries to sort of mess with Arondir by claiming there were a lot of lies about Morgoth and Sauron. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting route, and I guess they're sort of endorsing the fan theory that the orcs, in some cases, were basically corrupted elves. We did see this clue with episode 1, where Sauron has been messing around with the orcs, and one of them got horribly disfigured and destroyed, which people have totally forgotten, so I guess they're following up on that. So overall, good stuff, a lot of mysteries, good Easter eggs, music, strongest, costumes, cinematography, performances a little bit more erratic, but we're going to have to wait and see. And yeah, definitely there were a few canonical violations. Some of them were pretty tiny, but some of them were a little bit more massive. So it'll depend on if you're a really book purist or Jackson purist. But they did sort of give something to everyone. But yeah, so far Theo is really the weak leg. He just seems to be showing up to do action scenes and motivate Arondir to save him for the 20th time or whatever. That's kind of annoying.